Hi guys, my name is Mark Brewer. I'm the administrative coordinator here at Lashon Academy. I'll just give you guys like an overview and then go down into some more specifics. We have two campuses. One is in Van Nuys, California. One is in Jefferson Park. So as you can imagine, if you're familiar with the LA area, that's very different demographics. The Jefferson Park campus is approximately like 95% English language learners, with most of the students speaking Spanish and some of them not understanding English when they come into our campus. And then our Van Nuys campus is about around 48% Hispanic, with another component of a Jewish population, because there's an influx of a Jewish population in the San Fernando Valley, but also because we're a public Hebrew-based charter school. So for K through 7, each hour, 1 hour each day, Monday through Friday, the kids have some sort of Hebrew instruction, language, and enrichment, and learning about the Israeli culture and the country of Israel. So that's something that a lot of obviously Jewish families like and are here because of that, but also because they get to learn another language if they don't already speak Hebrew. So that's good for the kids. It's good for teachers because that means even as an elementary school teacher, you get an hour of planning time every day, which is not something you can get at most elementary schools or middle schools. So our teachers like that. Our Wednesdays are minimum days, and those are also reserved for staff development. So every day we have a professional development where people are broken down into their lead teacher groups based on grade, and you get to plan and go over data and go over anything that's on the agenda, any questions you might have. So you definitely have a lot of opportunities to ask questions if you are a little nervous about being a first-year teacher. What else can I tell you? The culture is I try to keep it pretty positive myself. I always try to have an open door, but I feel like everybody's only an email or a door knock away, as I try to put it. Like as long as you put yourself out there, I feel like people are pretty receptive to it. What else can I tell you about we do PBL, and we're authorized by LACO. So I'm actually in a classroom right now. Maybe there's not really a project. This is a newer classroom, but as you can see, most things on the wall are going to be geared toward visual learners. So it won't really matter what kind of language the student is comfortable with. We try to use project-based learning and inquiry and visual learning to display things that will help them learn in the long run, and learn those steps from when they're younger to following rules to as they get older and they start learning more difficult concepts and like writing and math and science and things like that.
So a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about like the particular, what would be considered a successful teacher or a successful candidate when they're applying to positions at your institution?
So I would say a successful candidate is just someone who's going to be adaptable. We're a smaller charter school, so things change from year to year. People come in and out. Data changes, student populations change. So it's really about being flexible to things that are thrown at you, and obviously like that's not an easy thing to ask of people. So we try to have a strong community of people able to answer your questions, or maybe if you have a hard time in one area, you can go to someone who's enjoys that area a little bit better. So I would say being flexible is the biggest strength. In terms of success, mostly all of our I guess markers of success are based on our data for state testing. So helping your kids increase their scores, getting improvement based on an individual student and based on your group as a whole. That's going to be a great indicator of your success. But also, really having good relationships with the parents is also important, because once you have that, then parents sort of give you the onus to educate their children even beyond 1 or 2 years. They will always be coming back to you for advice and guidance. So that's also helpful.
Great. And then can you also give us a little bit of guidance about the application process and the steps that's involved if the students are interested in applying to the institution?
Sure. It's actually really easy because I have the email, but you just would send your resume and your credential, preliminary or clear credential, in an email to jobs, JOBS, at lashonacademy.org. And you will then we will do Google Hangout interview initially, and then potentially a demo lesson virtually because of the rest of our school year is online. But rest assured, you'll still get the same equity across the application process.
Great. And then what are some of the current positions that you have available at the moment?
So elementary teacher is the main one. We're hiring on both campuses, and through TK all the way up through 8th grade. So the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade would be middle school positions, and TK through 5 would be elementary school, and then at Jefferson Park would be kindergarten through 3rd grade.
Great. And then we, we have we have teachers who have master's level education, but then some of the students will view this recording who have bachelor's degree with credentials. How does this kind of level and the salary level, or like the progression within the school, if they have a higher level of education?
Yeah, so the degree is not as important as so much as the multiple subject with the English learner authorization.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the more important component to teach at Lashon. Generally, master's level teachers have some sort of background in student teaching. So in that case, the board of Lashon can decide if they can start out as a first-year teacher, second-year teacher, or depending on how many years of experience on their salary scale. But the salary scale for Lashon is pretty set in stone. So all first-year teachers would start at the same level if they had never, taught a full year in the classroom beforehand.
Okay. I would think that that's all the questions that I have. And do you have any parting advice for students that are not here or are interested in applying?
Yeah. I think USC is great that they have all these resources for you guys, and that they have specifically college-centered workshops and advice to guide people towards seeking jobs. So if you are not going to graduate, or you need more time, or whatever your situation may be, just use all the resources you can in college. I mean, I know I wish I did more when I was in college, so that would be my advice. And I guess a second piece of advice would be, if you're really interested in a specific field, or a specific place, it always is best to check out the company's website first. I found that gets through a lot of red tape into going through job websites and applying and reapplying, and if you go through a company's website, generally they probably will get your information a lot faster and a lot quicker than if you did it on a third-party website.
Great. Actually, one more question.
Yeah,
when we are out of the college, this is what I also did. We have this set mind of, I really want to work with this company, or I really want to work with this school. There's this set mindset about this organization that we want to work with, but we don't really consider the fitness of that organization for ourselves. We just have this set idea of how working for this company or for this school would look like. And we just go in with that idea. And once we're in, we realize that we didn't do a lot of research about if that culture was really a good fit for us individually.
Right.
And my point is that maybe a lot of people might not have heard about Lashon Academy or small charters for that matter. And since, you know, you're representing Lashon Academy, just tell us a little bit about your own experience and your experience working with like little charter schools and how students would benefit from doing a little search about small schools and like cultural fit and that part of like career development search on from your point of view, because I do that and I want them to hear from
right.
the
So
recruiters as well.
I'll do like a little mini deep dive just on like my story. I graduated and I've been a private school teacher for 4 years, and then this is my first year at a charter school in a, you know, administrative adjacent sort of position. And, you know, I grew up in the suburbs, and I grew up, you know, with a pretty good lifestyle, and I'm thankful for that. And I got to go to college, and, you know, I got to learn the things I wanted to learn. I wasn't under, you know, financial stress or societal pressures or anything of that nature. And then, you know, it really hit me once I stepped on foot to the Jefferson Park campus, because that culture and that demographic, they grew up with a lot less than I did. And, you know, just seeing them and seeing the kids when, you know, I engage with them in speaking Spanish, and, you know, I teach them math in a different language, and they think that's crazy, but they like it because, you know, it feels like someone cares about them and someone wants them to learn. And that's like, those moments are the moments you really have to like hold on to and remember like why you're working for the things you are. You know, it's not one company, it's not, you know, one idea that, you know, you have to go out and seek in a job. It's more of a feeling of every day of like, can you influence a child's life positively? Can you influence a parent's life positively? You know, like, education is a public service, and obviously helping, you know, nobody gets into a helping career for the money. So, you know, you have to find other intrinsic motivations to take home with you at the end of the day. And so I just try to do it by connecting with as many kids and as many families as possible. And the better I do at that job, the better I feel like I can do at the rest of my work. And that's just my opinion, but that's how I feel, genuinely.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I wanted students to hear, that it's just not one way of doing what they really like and through one institution. It's just maybe they can find their little niche in an institution that they never thought about. But when they do a little research about the culture and the people and the mission, they figure out that there are different alternative routes to do what they're really passionate about. And your point really illustrated that. So thank you.
And of course, culture. And I always believe that you don't join a culture, you create it. So like, even if someone could say this culture at this company is really bad, I could say, well, I'm going to be the employee who makes it different, or I'm going to change it. And one person can do that.
Correct. Well, it was really great speaking with you, Mark. And this recording will be available to students, and they will have your contact that you provided, and we'll reach out to you should they have any question about application and positions.
Yeah, totally fine. mbrewer@lashonacademy.org. I'm always here. Always on my phone, I guess.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Have a great day.